Hello everybody, so this video is entitled Dumpster Specials. Gonna talk about HIMS, Celsius and Mara, because yes, there are dumpster fire specials right now in the market. Of course, the market giving up much of the gains of yesterday. Many of these gains have been given up. Google, of course, being down a lot today. I don't know what's going on. The market continues to make no sense. AT&T keeps being up, Walmart keeps being up, as usual, dare I say, and growth keeps being dumped. And so today, of course, the fear continued in the market. The oil was up, the rates were up, specifically today trending mortgage rates. Some people getting mortgages back into the 7% or the low 7% range. I saw that trending in multiple news outlets and websites. The real stores are going to be happy with the start of the real estate season. The mortgage sometimes can get to like near 7% right now. That's crazy. We really didn't need that, but that's okay. Today, I want to talk about three stocks, which in my view have been way unfairly punished. The market goes down and it stays flat and doesn't go back up. It goes down again, stays flat, it doesn't go back up. This is what's broken. This is what's broken. And this is the first example is HIMS. There's a liquidity problem. It's broken. Something is broken. Let me talk briefly about HIMS. So we're back at $21, roughly. We're about $1, not even that. We're maybe 50 cents higher than the low of the day when they announced the pill and when Novo announced the lawsuit. You remember that day? That was about 2 weeks before Q1. We're back at that level. The only difference is there's no lawsuit anymore. They made a deal. HIMS is going to sell the products of Novo. They're friends again, right? And also that infamous Friday where HIMS indeed dropped below 21. He also had the FDA go after HIMS. Macquarie said they would investigate. That's been dropped too, by the way. Macquarie congratulated HIMS and Novo on their deal. So all of the quote-unquote overhangs or the fears that got us down to 21, was it 3 weeks ago now? All of those fears are gone, yet the stock is at the same level. So we bounced back to 26, 27, and we lost it all again in a matter of a few days. HIMS is the punching bag. And today, what's the FUD? I want to address quickly the FUD today. So I saw two FUDs online. One of them is the Row.co, the Roco competition. To me, that is FUD. You see, when you see these download rankings on the App Store showing Row, like 10 steps ahead, you're talking about downloads. Go look at the absolute success of the Row app versus the HIMS app on the App Store. We are roughly, half an order of magnitude more for HIMS. There's many more reviews, many more users. This is not the same scale. Of course, Row is going to grow a little bit recently because they're from a much smaller base. Did you know, for example, that Row, doesn't even have an Android app? They don't even have an Android app. It's a small player. Row's a small player. And so the thud that Row is somehow taking a lot of business away from HIMS, to me, it's complete, entire FUD. The second FUD is peptide. You had a big interview against a peptide proponent on X. You may have seen it. And this goes back to the same debate. Are you stealing a drug that somebody developed, or are you not? I don't want to wade too much into that debate. Yes, of course, buying peptides from China and you don't have the tests, that could be a little risky. But it's not. It's not to say that all peptides are bad. And I think when you make blanket statements, anti-peptide, pro-pharma, pro-patent, when you make these statements, I think it's entirely false because peptides are much closer to nature, right? Patenting a peptide is much closer to somebody trying to patent a word or patent a color. You can't really patent a color. Should you be able to patent a peptide? That's one of the big debates. Anyways, in my view, This is complete FUD. Peptides are going to be the next big thing. HIMS is going to benefit tremendously with peptides, and it seems like HIMS is going to do that through partnerships with Big Pharma. And remember that HIMS never messed with Lilly. Never, ever. There's no... They have no reason to dislike Lilly. There's no reason for them to dislike each other. They never messed with them. They never, quote unquote, knocked off, even though that word I don't like. They never knocked off tirzepatide, which means that HIMS, in my view, could be up for a partnership with retatrutide when retatrutide actually gets approved by the FDA. So, in my view, this is complete fun. And then you have technical analysis, people, spreading fear, saying, "Oh, if we break that level, then we're going way down." But here's the thing about technical analysis: you can make your drawings, you can make them fit just about any chart, and you can play with just about any chart. And it's a lot of belief, I would say. So. It makes no sense. Down 5% today for what? It makes absolutely no sense. Moving on to Celsius. Okay, another one that makes absolutely no sense. The market is so fickle right now. So from what I understand, Celsius is down 15% in 5 days, down nearly another 7% today. Why? Because Kirkland Costco released a copycat? Because Costco released a copycat? And so somehow the market now believes that Alani and Celsius is not going to be a thing anymore because everybody's going to be buying the copycat. Take pharma. I don't know, ibuprofen. Some people buy Equate at Walmart. Others still buy Tylenol or whatever brand, Advil. Some people buy the brand. Some people buy the quote unquote knockoff. It's so misleading to say that everybody's going to buy the knockoff. I don't think this gives you any status in sort of a youthful Gen Z woman circle if you drink this. Yeah, I don't think you earn any status from drinking this. Do you earn status from drinking Alani? Let me move that. Do you earn status from drinking Alani? Yes. That's why Alani was actually the big threat to Celsius. If you remember in the early days, when I started covering Celsius in the early days, Alani was a big threat because a lot of women were shifting from Celsius to Alani. But that threat is not there anymore. Celsius owns Alani. They acquired it. That stock, to me, Celsius became sort of a no-brainer when Alani was acquired. So now you have a company that has Celsius and Alani. They also have Rockstar, but whatever. It's just a tiny brand they got. They got the both of the most successful energy drink of the Generation Z and Generation Alpha generation. So Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation, they own the blockbuster drink of that generation. Right? Monster is not the blockbuster drink of that generation. Monster is the blockbuster drink of the millennial, and perhaps even the older millennial. I'm sure there's younger millennials who drink Celsius. So to me, the market is entirely off. Not to mention, I think the Celsius sells at Costco, I think it's something like 10%, something like that. It's pretty high. They sell a lot of stuff at Costco. But every brand sells a lot of stuff at Costco. So first of all, second of all, I went into the weeds of this. The 15 pack at Costco for Celsius is like $15 to $18, something like that. So Costco is pricing this a little lower. I saw something like $16 or $15 for a bigger pack. But as far as the sticker shock, I'm not so sure people are going to make the difference. Oh, there's 24 cans versus 15 cans. I'm not so sure the buyer who's trying to save money even messes with energy drinks or with copycats and I'm not so sure. Like I said, I'm not so sure. I think the market is entirely overreacting. I don't think this is worth down 15%. Down 15% on this news, that makes very little sense to me. As a reminder, I guess you could argue with me on this, but it's okay. That's what I think the positioning, the marketing is for Celsius. I think it's the only non-extreme energy drink. If you look at Red Bull and you look at Monster, they all have extreme marketing, extreme sports, very manly. Celsius is not that. Celsius is in a way the only... Well, they have kind of Celsius itself, which really is gender neutral if you look at it. I mean, I guess the berry is more womanly, but I don't know, the orange one or the citrus one, that's pretty gender neutral if you ask me. So they are the only brand that's like right in the middle, where it doesn't alienate one gender. And then they actually own Alani, which is 95% female. Alani is 95% woman. And let me tell you one thing, that's the final thing I'll say, is from what I've witnessed in the US, the only socially acceptable morning energy drink is either a Celsius or Alani. I see few people buying a Monster energy beverage at 7 a.m. at the gas station, but I see teens lining up at Buc-ee's at 8 a.m. to buy a nearly $3 big can of Celsius or Alani. So that's, I think, a key difference. Of course, all of these brands try to compete with coffee. Who has the best shot at taking share from coffee? My bet is on Celsius. I own Celsius. I like Celsius. I don't understand why it's down 15%. Lastly, let's conclude with Mara. And Mara, of course, very little followed stock, so I didn't make a video, but I listened to that call, that February 26th call, where they talked about the partnership that they had with Starwood. Starwood being habituated, a casual builder of data centers, not like a professional. They build data centers a lot, you know what I mean. They build data centers a lot. That partnership was a really good partnership. The call was absolutely excellent. The analysts were excited. I was excited. The stock, as a result of that, and remember February 26th was still kind of a tough market, not as tough as now, but still a tough market. The stock soared 17, 18% on the news. And of course, in the past few months, it's very rare to find a stock actually soar on this type of news. Well, guess what? 17% I calculate here, but the news articles intraday, that was like 18%, 17%. Well, anyways, they're getting in data center. They're shifting away from a Bitcoin miner to a data center business. You know, same story as, say, Iren, same story as, you know, a Riot. And the market took away I don't want to compare it to Iren. I know there's a lot of Iren lovers. I'm not trying to. Iren is likely a better stock. I'm not trying to compare it to Iren. I'm saying it's a similar story of a similar shift. You know, I don't want to have Iren hate come my way, but this is gone. All of these gains are gone. It makes absolutely no sense. So the gains have been gone on this. You have Costco, who introduces a frankly very weirdly this looks like weird marketing bold print. You have Costco who introduces this. The stock's down 15%, and then you have HIMS, who is down for no reason whatsoever. I absolutely don't understand. So that's why I titled this video the dumpster specials. It makes no sense. The market may not be as volatile as last Friday, but it's still not good. It's still not doing well. Mr. Market is still ill as I record this. Anyways, this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day.